I've put together this short demo of how to use dynamic array math in Excel. What you're looking at is the screen from my MacBook Pro that I use to do all of my Excel work. I have an Office 365 license for Excel. For the math, what I've done is set up two sets of numbers. If you see where I'm highlighting to the left, that column I want to do math with these two columns of numbers. So in order to do that, I've already set up these four boxes that I'm panning through right now with the math of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You'll notice that in the second set of boxes that I call dynamic array math or solutions, you'll see the name error, and we'll fix that in just a minute. Right now I want to show a couple of things. In this box right here, the comments show how to execute keyboard shortcuts to either view the name manager either on the PC or Mac, or the show formulas on a PC or Mac. And for the show formulas, the little mark you see after the plus sign after the control is the grave mark. And that on my keyboard is under the escape key and under the tilde. And it's called the grave mark. So you'd have to find that on the PC. I'm not that familiar with a PC. So with those in mind, I'm going to go up to my tool ribbon where I keep a lot of things that I use all the time, and I'm going to execute show formulas. Now the show formulas, we go down to the boxes with the typical solutions, cell-based, B plus E, B plus F, and you can see all the formulas that I've already filled in, doing the math for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. When we go down to the boxes that I call dynamic arrays, you'll see that there's one formula in each one of the boxes, first array and second array. And that's addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So now I'll go up and turn the formula view off and get our calculations back. Now we're going to go in and fix the name error. I go to the column under first array and I highlight the numbers that I want to use to do the math with the second array. I go to the name window in the upper left and you'll see me highlight B6 is now highlighted, and I can put in a name instead of B6, and I'm going to call it first array. And capitalization doesn't matter in names. I just do that because it is how I've like to do my work. And once I hit the return key, now that column of numbers is called first array. And when you go down and look at the dynamic array solutions, the name error is now gone, and the calculations have all been made, and they equal the E6, B6, the cell-based solutions. But if we go and turn the formula view back on, you'll see that there is only one formula still in each one of the boxes under the dynamic array solutions. So let's turn the formula view back off and bring our numbers back on. I'll show you a couple of interesting things, helpful things about dynamic arrays. Let's go and insert a new row of numbers that we want to use in our calculation. So when I do that, now between 60 and 70, there is a gap with no numbers in it. When we look at the cell-based solutions between 60 and 70, let's go down and look at the calculations. And actually, let's go and turn on the formula view again. It's easier to see. And you can see that between the B11 and B13, if you look at the row numbers, so the cell-based solutions have kept track of the numbers that it was doing math on multiplication, division, subtraction, addition before. But now let's look at turn the formula view back off and look at the dynamic solutions. There's now an empty row with no numbers in it. So let's go put some numbers in here. We'll just make something up, 100, let's say 150, and say 200. And when we've done that, now our dynamic array solution has filled in those calculations automatically for us. We don't have to do anything. In the upper boxes, cell-based solutions, I would have to drag and open up a new row and then copy and paste or drag the formulas down for each one of these to get that new row of data into our calculations. Let's get rid of that by removing the rows and see that our calculations have all now come back for our dynamic arrays. One last thing I'll quickly show is for all these numbers, say I want to round them to 2 places. So I highlight the formula that is in the first cell of the division, and I go to my formula window and I say round and pick the round function, and I say I want to round that to 2 places. Okay, I don't have to do that to each one of the cells because I only have one formula for that calculation. In the upper box with the E6, B6, F6, B6, I would have to go in and put round for each one of those formulas and then drag it down through the rest of the cells to get the same thing to happen. That's what dynamic arrays look like and how they can be used in math. And there are a lot of other ways to use dynamic arrays, but this gives a basic introduction to dynamic arrays. If you have questions, just let me know. We can talk through it. I can answer any questions. I can show more demos, more information about them. And if this is too basic for you, then just throw it away. But other than that, that's the end of the demo. We'll shut it off, and be sure to use your volume keys if you decide to look at this demo.